Max talking. So we just woke up recently, so we might sound a little tired. I'm trying to be not too loud because other people are still sleeping, but we wanted to share something. We had another lucid dream. We've been trying to lucid dream for some time, probably the total amount of research, practice, all that has been about a year, a bit over a year. And the first time we lucid dreamt was actually kind of during the height of our PTSD. It was right after a really, really bad nightmare, but then we had a lucid dream right after that nightmare. And ever since then, we've been really interested in like lucid dreaming and stuff. Unfortunately, at that time in our life, we had fallen prey to the malicious shifting cult, which is essentially people who don't understand lucid dreaming at all and believe that they are actually going to another dimension through their own mind and will. And unfortunately, when we were younger and needed an escape from our PTSD, at the time we didn't know what PTSD was, but we just knew that we were suffering intensely, and we fell prey to a lot of the ideas behind the shifting cult, and I am going to call it a cult because we wholeheartedly believe it is a cult. Any group where even so much as challenging the beliefs is taken as a threat is absolutely a cult, in my opinion. And so we fell prey to that, and then it was the content of our favorite lucid dreaming teacher, Daniel Love, that helped us get out of that cult, that helped us realize how we were being misled, and helped us actually start learning about lucid dreaming and taking that seriously. And so we've been doing a lot of work towards that for about a year with not too much success, but with enough success where we've had like definite signs of progress, but it's definitely been very, very slow progress. Where at first, the first thing that started was like actually just remembering dreams more vividly and more clearly and more often with like dream journaling. And then after that, we learned like to reality check more frequently, and we were having maybe like 1 to 2 small moments of lucidity after maybe the 4-month mark, but it was really, or probably more than that, but it was really like very, very short, to where I felt like we weren't progressing, and it made us feel very disheartened, and made us feel sad that we weren't like progressing as fast as we hoped we would be. But it's been about a year since getting into like lucid dreaming and different things, and we just had our second like long lucid dream. And we think maybe it's because we've been not going as hard on ourselves lately, where we've just been kind of doing like mini reality checks and frequently throughout the day, and have not been like beating ourselves up or stressing as much over it. We're not really sure why it was last night that we had another lucid dream, but this time it was very much like, I guess we'll share what happened. So like we were in a non-lucid dream, and we were in some haunted house, and there was like a guy who was eating dog food, who was some sort of academia professor in this house, who I think was also possibly part dog. And then I was in the kitchen. Max was in the kitchen, and the person having this dream was Max, so the person talking. And we did a reality check, just sort of randomly. We're not sure what triggered it. It might have just been, we just did a reality check in the dream, and we did it successfully. So we did the nose pinch one, where you breathe and you go, and it's like, okay, that's how it feels when I breathe right now. And then you try and like breathe through your pinched fingers. It's like, oh, okay, I can't breathe through my pinched fingers, which means this isn't a dream. That's a very short one. You're really supposed to do it for like 2 minutes to do a successful one, but we've been doing sort of the small ones lately. And when we did that in the dream, we realized, oh my God, this is a dream, because I can still breathe a little bit. And it was very faint, because when you're breathing in your sleep, it's really small. But I was like, I can still breathe a little bit through my fingers, so this is a dream. And then what happened was, first thing we did was, what usually happens is as soon as we get lucid, it slips from us. Like, as soon as we're lucid, it's like something spirals and we lose it, like, instantly, which is really, really frustrating because that is the most common thing that happened to us for, like, months and months and months. But this time, we managed to hold on to the lucidity, because what we've been trying to do is, what we think was the problem, what was causing us to spiral, is that we were fighting it somehow, or like we were trying to change things too quickly. Whereas the thing we've been telling ourselves when we're awake is, if this is a dream, if you are in a dream and you realize that and you become lucid, just stick with it. Don't try and change anything at first. Don't have like a strong emotional response. Just try and stick with the dream so you can slowly move on to anything else. And I think that worked, because it felt like it was at least 11 minutes in real time, which I don't know what that would be, because, you know, the time in the mind is subjective, right? So we went to like a white room. So we made we were actually eventually in the lucid dream long enough where we could start to control stuff a bit, and we're not really sure how. It just naturally happened for us. But like we made a black door and went to a white room just so we could get out of the former scene. And then from there, we went to a different place. And it was sort of difficult because trying not to hold on to too much power, but also trying to stay lucid, did mean we had to do multiple reality checks to like keep us aware that we were dreaming. And there was like one part where I think we were starting to slip out of it, where like we were with a bunch of like random people, and because we were still semi-lucid at that part where we were just like in a party or something with like random people, which was not the scene we wanted to go to, we reminded ourselves, well, Max wouldn't be in a place like this without another person or without our alters with us. So this is still a dream because like, you know, there's other kinds of, you have to do like logic tests, and it's like, I would never go to a place like that alone. I would never go to like a big party outside, because it would be very disheartening for us and scary if it was real life. And so that was one of the things, like, okay, this is still a dream. We're still dreaming. And then one of the things that was really, to us, the highlight of the lucid dream was, well, there was one part. So in the, we will share this, Daniel Love, the Lucid Dreaming Guide on YouTube, who is one of the few non-nefarious lucid dream teachers, he has this, like, ongoing joke of like a character called Cosmotron, and we don't really actually know what that is at all, but in our dream it just like filled in the gaps and made up that Cosmotron was the god of lucid dreaming, invented by Daniel Love. And like, I think either us or someone else was praying to Cosmotron in the dream at one part. We just thought that was really funny and wanted to share that. Okay, but then the best part of the dream was that we saw our castle that we just finished drawing the other day, and this castle has been a symbol for the balance structure and like foundation of support that we've built for ourselves from our shadow work, and it's like a symbolic castle, but it's also a real castle. And we saw that castle in our dream. And we just finished drawing it the other day. We're gonna post it on Instagram probably sometime today. But that castle that we finished drawing, we saw it in our dream. And that's literally so meaningful to us, because that's where we imagine our court of consciousness lives, is in that castle. And we hadn't been able to like draw it before, to get it like how we wanted it until yesterday. But we finished drawing it yesterday, and then we saw it in our lucid dream. We didn't go into it. Max didn't go into the castle, but he saw it. He saw where like when we're like awake, we say that we're part of the court of consciousness, and the court of consciousness is our family, is our spirit family, but also our alters, as some people call them. So like the other minds that inhabit our body is the court of consciousness, and we're the king of the court of consciousness. Max is the king of the court of consciousness. And we saw our castle where we live in, it wasn't even named yet, because like we just finished that drawing yesterday, but we saw it in the lucid dream before we woke up. And that to us is 100% worth the years worth of like work we've been doing with like training ourselves to be able to get into like lucid dreaming and stuff. It's 100% worth it, we would say, just for being able to actually see that place that means so much to us, as like a real place. And so we're gonna end this video now.